Weird world of YouTube, how's it going? My name is Javier Portillo. So today I'm making a second response video to Matt Dillahunty and Shannon Q from the Atheist Experience. I already did it once, but I didn't do it the way I always normally do it, which is by myself and explaining stuff logically. What I did is I just laughed at the stupidity and made fun of, mocked, basically, at these people for them saying men are women whenever they want to and women are men whenever they want to. These confused people are whatever they say they are, even though we know that there's something different. And I'm still going to mock them right now, and I'm still going to make fun of their stupid ideas, but not in the same way, because whoever knows about this little controversy I got going on with Matt, I offered him $5,000 to do a debate, a live debate, with Matt, so we can duke it out man to man in a debate. But my only condition was I wanted to do it live. I wanted to look him in the eyes while I was laughing at his stupidity. That was my only condition. I want to do it in person to person, so I can trigger him so much, because I can. I just, it's so easy to trigger any leftist. I don't know why, but that was my only condition. I wanted to do it in person, and I was going to put down $5,000. Not only that, I was going to travel from Minnesota to Texas. I think that's where Matt lives, or I would have traveled anywhere. And then, but here's a response to all Matt's trolls. If you guys think that $5,000 is a lot of money, you guys stop watching this video and go get a better job. Go work more. I mean, $5,000 in a sense is a lot of money, but it isn't. But what I do think is funny is that Matt ran from that debate, from that discussion, because he didn't want to do it in person, and I had all his trolls attacking me, saying that I pussied out, when in all honesty it was Matt that doesn't want to do it. Me, I just want to do it in person, so I know he can't pull off this shit. And I know some of you people were like, well, you could have done modern day debate. I didn't even know that was a thing. I'm not online all the time. I listen to news. That's what I listen to, because I like the way CNN, MSNBC, and other channels lie to me, and so I mock them for that stupidity that they lie to me about. But anyways, like I said, I wanted to do it in person. So if he does try to do something, or if he does storm off, I'm at least gonna know that he can't mute me, and that if he does storm off, if he does run, it's gonna be in person, and I'm gonna be laughing at his ass so much when he gets triggered and walks off. I mean, for anybody who defends Matt saying that I was the one that pussied out, no, that money is still on the line. I'm still willing to put up $5,000 so he can donate, even to a transgender organization. I don't give a fuck what he does with the money. But no, I didn't pussy out. If you guys want to tell Matt, hey, still willing to do it, I just want to do it in person. And some of you people were even like, well, we're in the middle of a pandemic, and so I don't think that Matt wants to get together with a stranger because he can get sick. To all those people, I bet I can assure that all those people that said that don't mind the open borders thing. Even though we're going through a pandemic, all those leftists that were defending him in that point, I can assure you that you don't want to close down the borders, even though we're going through this same pandemic, which is why Matt's giving an excuse that he doesn't want to meet up with me. That's a coward move. I'm not a coward. I mean, in all sense of reality, the only coward is Matt for not wanting to do this live. I'm not scared of anything. I'm not scared of Matt, and this is why I wanted to do it face to face. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to review the video that was in question the other day when I called into the Atheist Experience. But this time, I'm going to answer all his questions without having someone else to my side and not just mocking him. I mean, like I said, I'm still going to mock him for his stupidity, but I'm going to do it with arguments. And trust me on this one, guys. I know Matt's really good at debating. I've seen his debates like you guys have no idea. Christopher Hitchens is one of the people that I still look up to. He's one of my idols. Christopher Hitchens, in Christopher Hitchens, Sam Harris, even Matt Dillahunty. But Sam Harris and Matt Dillahunty, ever since Trump started running for president, they went delusional with this leftist propaganda, this leftist agenda, to the point where I can no longer follow them in that sense. And even though I love their old debates that they did with Christians, with Muslims, with Jews, whenever it comes down to politics and leftist agenda, I just can't agree with them because they're not right, not in any single way. And even though I can see that, yeah, Matt's really good at telling people or how to make people think logically about the God debate, this isn't the God debate. This is a debate about biology. And I'm not a scientist, not at all. I consider myself, in that sense, a stupid person. But now we're debating something about biology. And this is a provable point. A man can't just become a woman. I mean, he can in the sense that he can put on a dress like a woman. He can cut off his dick and turn it into, I guess you would consider a vagina. But he's still a man. He's still a man. And so no matter how good he is debating with Christians about this God thing, he's still going to be wrong on this. I mean, this would be the equivalent to debating a flat earther. This would be the equivalent of debating a person that believes in spirits and ghouls and warlocks, witches. I mean, it's just in the same realm of nonsense. But let's go to the video in question once more, and then I will respond how I would debate him. And then if I ever do a debate with Matt live, because this will only happen live, like I said, I want to mock him to his face. To his face. I'm not scared of an 80-year-old obese man. I'm not. But anyways, let's get to the video in question once again and go through his stupid bullshit. Let's comb it down. Let's go through it. And then I will tell you in all actuality what I would have said if he would have let me talk in that point, in that day, so you guys can understand where I'm coming from.
Well, we have Javier in, is it Minnesota? Welcome to the show. You're on with Shannon and Matt. How can we help?
How's it going? Hey, I just have a question. Do you guys do anything wrong in a person just believing in God to make them feel good?
Well,
did he just say, do we see anything wrong in a person believing in God just to make them feel good? I just want to make sure I heard that correctly.
Yes, that is what I heard. Okay. Is that correct? Okay, is that correct, Javier?
Yes.
Sweet.
Okay, thank you. Do I see anything wrong? I guess that kind of depends on what you mean by wrong. Also, like morally, do I believe that somebody can have a mental state that affects no one else but themselves because it makes them feel good? No, so long as it's just a mental state that affects no one but themselves and doesn't affect themselves detrimentally. Now, then you've got a long road to hoe after that, because that almost doesn't exist as a reality in the world, right? So people's beliefs inform their actions.
Shannon, you're completely right on this one. People's beliefs do inform and form their actions. So if you believe something that isn't real, you're going to go based on that. So one of my biggest issues with this transgender movement, and I've said this before, I don't care what people do in their personal life. I really don't. It's this notion that transgenders and all these crazy people, they're trying to push this onto little kids, normalizing this kind of behavior, which it isn't normal. What is normal for us human beings is to have a family, is to have a two-parent household, a male and a female, so kids can grow up as normal as possible. Ever since we've gotten rid of this notion of us being a two-family household, and I'm not talking about two moms or two dads, a mom and a dad and their kids, ever since we started getting rid of this is when everything just started going to shit, in the sense that people aren't living good lives anymore. I mean, why is there a lot of drug use with people? Why is there so many people doing crime? Why is there so many people being incarcerated? Well, it's because of not having a good family structure. And I'm not saying that everyone that doesn't have two parents, like my buddy Mike, the one that was here with his with the last video I did, he didn't have a two family household, and from what he's told me, he grew up pretty shitty. He turned out to be good. He was in the military. He has a good job. He has his own house. He works. He as normal as can possibly be. But that isn't always the outcome. The outcome always tends to be bad for the kids whenever they come from broken homes. That's why I say, and I believe the numbers are correct, in between, it's like 75 or 85, somewhere around there, of the people incarcerated come from broken homes. So that should tell you something. That should tell you that coming from a broken home is never going to be good for the kids. They're never going to grow up normal. And we do have a sense of normality. A tumor is not normal. That's why we have to get rid of it, because it is a medical anomaly. It is detrimental for our health to the point that we have to remove it. And and so in that sense, not having a two-parent household is detrimental to the growth, to a person's well-being, even mental health, because they don't have that family structure. We're animals. And if lions, if ants, if any other animal doesn't do what they have to do, they die. We won't necessarily die. We just won't live a good life. And that's the whole thing about being an atheist, trying to be a better person for you and for everybody around you. And part of that reality is understand. Why wouldn't you want? This is one thing I learned about Matt. Why would you want to leave the world a worse place than you left it? Why would I want to leave? Why would I want to die and leave my kids without the knowledge, experience, without the good knowledge and experience that I have to give them? Why would I want to leave him with a shitty life when I die? I don't. I want him to live a good life, so he can carry on and have a good family, have his own kids. I got to teach him how to work, how to make money, so he can be successful in his own way and make his own path as a man, so he can raise his family with a two-parent household, because it's just the best for his kids. I don't live for me. I don't work that much because of me. I work a lot and do a lot for my family. I always put myself last. I always put my wife and my kids first, then me.
Right. So people's beliefs inform their actions, people's beliefs inform their relationships, and people's beliefs inform their perceptions of themselves. So do I see anything wrong in this hypothetical that doesn't really exist in reality? No. If you gave me a real life scenario, could I almost invariably find something wrong with it? Yeah, absolutely. But we don't exist in the realms of hypothetical, non-existent questions. We exist in the real world where what I said stands.
I agree. We don't exist in this world of hypotheticals. But then in a few minutes, Matt's going to go on and tell me that hypothetically, maybe someday through science, men are going to be able to get pregnant, which biologically we can't.
And what people believe informs their actions. And people don't believe in a God in a vacuum, most likely. It's wrapped in a belief structure, in a societal structure, in an infrastructure of community. It's wrapped in a doctrine. It's wrapped in perceptions of how they must behave and treat other people and interact with one another. And those all can have deleterious effects on the people themselves and the people around them. So in your hypothetical that doesn't exist, then sure, maybe not. But in reality, I think that you would need something more concrete. But most of these hypotheticals are posed just so that you can get an atheist to say something along the lines of, well, yeah, obviously just your belief isn't an issue, but then it's ignoring all of the reality that unfolds from somebody's belief system. Sorry, go ahead, Matt.
I actually go a step further in that while I would be fine with the notion that there might be somebody out there who believes in a God And this specific belief itself doesn't have that much impact on what they do, and therefore doesn't have that much negative impact on the world. And I would still object, because if in fact it is not true that a God exists and you believe that there is a God, that means that your brain has gone through some heuristic process to reach a conclusion that is false. And if in fact your brain is going through a process to reach that conclusion, there's no reason to think that only that subject is affected by that process. Basically, we like to reuse things, including the heuristics we do. Today is pretty much the same as yesterday. We rely mostly on inference and induction. And if the process that led one to believe there was a God, how do you know that that's not going to lead you to believe other things? This is the reason why I advocate for skepticism. This is the reason why I want to believe as many true things and as few false things as possible.
Matt, I'm in agreement with you on this one. We do have to think as much true things as possible. We have to weed out everything that we think is wrong. We just have to. That so we can be better people. Like lions and lionesses. Let's say when a lion doesn't do his job, he doesn't protect his pack or his pride or whatever you call a group of lions, if he doesn't protect his own kind against other threats, that be hyenas or even other lions, if he doesn't protect them, he's failing, so he's going to be replaced. And their little society can collapse and they can all die out. And this is why we're going to shit. This is why we're going to hell, in the sense that nobody's taken on the roles that they were born to be. I am a man. I have to provide for my family. Not that I have to. It's even a pride thing. I feel good by providing for my family, by taking on the role, not that society put on me, because it isn't society. It's just my role as a dad. Imagine someone breaks into my house, and if I'm a beta male, I'm going to send my wife to go protect against an intruder. How's that going to work out? And why am I going to do it if I'm stronger than her? That's when it all goes to shit. Whenever I tell my wife to do something that I have to do. This is why we're the ones that have to be the providers. We're the ones that have to be the protectors. And whenever this shit, and whenever we stop doing it, is when we all start going to shit.
Because if my internal model of reality starts to depart from reality, how do you stop that from cascading? It's not, I'm not saying that it's okay. Everybody's going to be wrong about something. I'm sure Shannon and I have each been wrong about, well, Shannon's only been wrong about one thing today, but I've been wrong about probably 50 things today. But
I was wrong about with you.
Does a God belief, is it necessarily bad? No. But if in fact it's not true, then it is necessarily a problem, because a brain has reached a wrong conclusion.
See, we agree so much on this. We agree so much on believing whatever is true. But it all starts to deteriorate whenever he starts thinking that any male can just become a female. And his delusions are gonna start popping up even more as the video goes.
And if it turns out that their God belief is true, then at a minimum, they're now believing something that they can't demonstrate, which is itself a problem. Having beliefs, strong beliefs that you cannot demonstrate, that itself is a problem. Hopefully that, between the two of us, hopefully we got to your answer.
Would it be the same thing as, let's see if gender dysphoria? Wouldn't it be the same thing?
Dysphoria?
No, because gender, so first of all, gender is separate, being separate from sex is, hang on. I don't want to have to mute you, but I will.
Once you start saying something that they don't like, that they perceive different, that they make excuses for, they start getting mad. This is why I called the video the triggering, because they got triggered by me asking questions. Like, I was never, I said it before, I was never rude to them. I was never loud. I was never obnoxious. I was asking simple questions. Why do people get triggered with simple questions? Why do people want to shut your conversation down once you don't agree with them? And this is basically the left's religion. Whenever it comes to transgenderism, whenever it comes to global warming, whenever these people just throw logic out of, like they throw it out the door. I'm not a climate denier as much as I'm a God denier. I can't deny something that isn't true. And for all you people that say, well, scientists say this and that, scientists have been wrong so many times. And I'm not saying that global warming isn't like true, but this notion of man-made global warming, people, just think about it logically. There's pyramids underwater right now that have been there for thousands and thousands of years. And so that only tells me that the climate has changed, but it's a natural process that it goes through.
Gender, being separate from genetic sex, presents itself in a number of different ways. One of them is gender identity, the gender that you internally associate with. This is a product of an individual's mind. There's not some external necessary truth to it. If I say that my identity is a man, or that my identity is as a woman, or my identity is as neither, that's just true.
No, Matt, this isn't just true. How you feel inside, how you feel on the inside is irrelevant to your biology. Because, I mean, I guess you can present yourself as a woman if you put on a dress and a wig and do all this and that shit. You can present yourself as a woman. Biologically, you're still a man. And here's one thing that's crazy. Like, we can uncover bones from people, and science is so badass that it can actually tell us how those people died, an estimation of how old those people were, what race they were. Not only that, even the sex those people are. So the sex, and so when your gender identity, whenever people say gender identity, it's just that they put on it's just like me putting on a skirt and saying I am a woman. But like I said, if I get uncovered someday, discovered by a new species, a new alien, and I died with the dress, but those aliens examine my bones and shit, they're gonna be like, whoa, he was a male. Even if I cut off my dick is not gonna be there when I die. It's all just gonna be bones. But they're still gonna know that I am a male because I have physical male traits. This isn't something I can change. You can to an extent, but not to the extent that you want it to. Just because you feel a certain way in your head, this has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with reality. And this is what I'm trying to get to. This is why I had to pose this question in this way. I've been thinking about it for a while. How do I get from this step to the next? So transgender is a false belief that a man is a woman or a woman is a man because their brain is fucking confused. So I had to portray this question, and it's like, well, what is wrong with someone believing something that isn't? And for you guys, it's fine to tell people, yeah, no, your God isn't real, which is fine for me too. But in the same sense, you should also be able to tell people, because of science, you guys are the people that praise and love and science so much, but then it's uncomfortable. It's an uncomfortable truth for you guys whenever this shit gets presented to you. And I'm not saying that we should be pieces of shit to people who are confused. I'm saying that we should give them the help that they need so they can be better. I mean, going along with someone's delusion is never good. I remember my dad, at some point, he injured his head and he hit himself in the head against a concrete floor. He was going up a ladder. The ladder, something happened, and then he fell, hit his head, and he was hearing voices in his head. So imagine us telling him, no, Dad, yeah, those voices, they're real. No, it wasn't. It isn't. And it's not healthy for a doctor to go play along with this stupid shit. It would have been detrimental to his health from that point on. But since doctors were telling him, don't listen to those voices in your head, it's just confusion that's going on because you had a trauma in your head. You, and so, shouldn't we be doing the same thing with people who think there's something they aren't?
Then separate from gender identity is this notion of gendered expression, which is how we express to the rest of the world what our internal gender identity is to the extent that we want them to know. And that could be how we put on makeup or facial hair or body hair or the clothing that we wear or the pronouns that we use. There's nothing about that. It's not like saying, oh, I believe I'm this gender and I could be wrong about it. You can't be wrong.
Yes, Matt, you can be wrong, and you are wrong once you start portraying yourself something you aren't. Let's not stop. I mean, why are we stopping this at gender? Why not do it with age? I mean, if my head tells me I'm 36 years old, 35 still. If I tell people I'm 17 and I go have sex with a 17-year-old, should I be able to get scot-free and not go to jail for being a pedophile? Because I think that's what you still consider someone that has sex, even though she's 17. Should I be able to go scot-free if I tell the judge, it's that I know that I'm 35 years old, but I feel like my brain just feels so right that I feel 17. So you can't really put me in jail for feeling this. And yes, they can, and yes, they should, because we have a sense of reality. Reality, Matt, that's where I'm trying to get to you. Stick to it. Don't give in to these people's illogical thoughts. That's all I'm saying.
You can be wrong in the sense of not completely understanding who you are, but if you are convinced that this is who you are, it's no more wrong than I like vanilla ice cream.
Did you tell people that Eminem is your father?
Yes, I did, actually. Yeah, I did.
Is he your father?
I am not sure. My mom has pictures of a guy that looks just like Eminem. Like, I'm not even kidding. Looks just like him, and I'm sitting on his lap and everything.
No. And that wasn't Eminem. It was a family member.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, there he is, yeah. Just like that,
No.
except without the
No.
hat, and he always wears
No.
a white t-shirt.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. So,
And this is why I would crush Matt in a debate 100%. Because he's saying that because you like a certain food, you can just be able to change your gender, your reality, whenever you want. It's impossible. It is impossible, Matt. Let's stick to reality. Let's live with reality. Reality is so nice. And so we should be telling these confused people, instead of confusing them more in their delusion, we should be able to tell them, no, this isn't what it is. This is what you think it is. And that's it. As far as transgenders go, let me put it this way. If there's a man that he's 18, 20, 21, fully grown, and he decides to put on a dress, he can do whatever the fuck he wants. I'm no one to judge him in that sense. He's doing it to his own self. But then you can't expect me to see a Mrs. Garrison or Mr. Garrison, however you want to put it.
Oh, I get that part. Like people deciding what they are, but like a biological male that wants to get pregnant. I mean, isn't that a sort of dysphoria?
Well, right now, it's not really. It's first of all, it's not outside the realm of science. As a matter of fact, I think there has already been a biological male that was pregnant, right?
I will concede to this point once again. Maybe there was one anomaly, one biological male, which there is. Maybe there is one biological male that did get pregnant. Is that the normal? We never make the rules out of the exceptions, Matt. Never. You have to lie to yourself to continue with this conversation. The way you're going, at least, you have to lie to yourself so much. You have to play along with these people just so you don't seem like a transphobe. I guess they would call you transphobic if you don't believe someone what they say they are. But that's stupid, Matt. That's stupid. I mean, even if science can grant you, even if science somehow makes it to where they can transplant a womb, into a man's body, that's still not our biology, Matt. I am talking about biologically what men can and can't do, not what science is willing to do for men.
Not that I'm aware of.
I thought there, I don't know, but there's no reason that we couldn't transplant a womb and work towards those sorts of things within science. But the desire, hang on, Javier, hang on. The desire to be pregnant is not a delusion.
Matt, the desire to be pregnant is a delusion. The desire to be anything you aren't is a delusion. If I desired to be black, it would be a delusion. And I can probably go through it. Michael Jackson went from black to white, but he was still black. If they uncovered his body in a few years, they took out DNA samples, they would say he is a biological black male, not a white male, because that wouldn't show up. They would see a biological black male. Now, the desire to be pregnant, Matt, really, what kind of a man would desire to be pregnant? I mean, imagine a woman having the desire to get a boner and she has a full-blown vagina. How would she want something that isn't hers? How would she want something that is not in her realm of reality? Even though science can maybe put on a penis on a woman, that's still not her penis. She does not know what it feels to be a man. We have we're just wired different, man. Why is this so hard to understand for you? Why is it so hard for you to actually base this argument on science? You're not. I mean, you're saying, well, science maybe can do it, but it's not a biological trait. Giving birth is only a biological trait to women. And no, I get this argument. So if a woman can't have a baby, she's not a real woman? No, she's still a baby. She's still a woman. She's just dysfunctional in that way. That doesn't change. I mean, she has something wrong with her, but it's still a unique trait to women, Matt. Let's not go on delusion, Matt.
If you're a man, isn't it?
No, I could desperately want to be pregnant and just still be recognizing the physical facts about science that my biology currently prohibits me from being pregnant. But I could spend my entire life desiring to be pregnant.
That is the definition of delusion. I mean, if I wanted to have my period, me being a male, that would be a delusion, because that is something my body can't do. And even though, I mean, I guess there's some people that say that they have, some men that they say they have their period. It is a delusion because it is not a male trait, Matt. It isn't. This is where you lost me. This is where I'm like, wow, he's so stuck in this mentality that he's making so much excuses for these kind of people.
That is not dysphoria. That is not delusion. And by the way, why did we, Javier, stop talking? Why did we shift from a discussion about belief in a God and whether or not those beliefs and how they're formed represent something bad to a discussion about gender and pregnancy?
Here's why, Matt. Because I wanted to prove your hypocrisy, Matt. And by asking you a simple question, why is it wrong to believe in, or how is it bad to believe in a God? And you went on blabbing about this affects this and this, and I get it, But in that same sense, it's wrong to believe something that you're not. A man is not a woman. Your brain can play tricks on you so much. I mean, like I said, you can hear voices. Does that mean those voices actually exist in real life? No, it's all in your head. So what we need to do is get these people the help they need instead of playing along with them.
Because those things are not remotely in the same fucking ballpark.
I was talking
They're
about.
not beliefs.
They're not
They're
beliefs.
not beliefs. They're not beliefs, Javier. I have been dying to talk. Javier.
You've been dying to talk. I get that. I was not allowed to talk because you guys don't like these honest questions. It is a belief. It is a belief, you stupid bitch. It is.
They are not beliefs. Do I believe I am a woman? That's a legitimate question. Do I believe I am a woman, Javier?
I know you're.
Do you think? I know I'm a woman. Oh, I know I'm a woman. How do I know I'm a woman? What properties do I have mentally that make me a woman?
A vagina.
Oh, I have a mental vagina?
It's not a mental vagina, Shannon. You have a physical vagina. You also have breasts that when you get pregnant and you have a baby, you would have the ability to feed that baby through your breasts. You have a uterus. You have specific traits that only apply to women. And it's not mental, it is physical.
I have a mental vagina, Javier. Can you see my vagina? Do you know if I have a vagina? Stop talking.
I don't need to see your vagina. I really don't. Let's say I run into a chick one day, and well, it's a male actually, but he just presents himself so much that he looks like a chick. There's actual men that I've seen that really do look like women. Right? And I think we can all agree on that. But he's fooling everybody and himself because he's not a woman. What do men have? Broader shoulders. We're stronger. We have denser bones. A penis. Balls. We're just built different. Women have hips, uteruses, fallopian tubes, clitoris, and I know some of you stupid people are gonna be like, but what about the intersex people? What about the hermaphrodites? Well, that's also a medical anomaly. But we never base science on the medical anomalies. I mean, there's people that literally have two heads. Is that the norm too? Is that really the norm, having two heads? Even though there's people, I think there was like a show on, I don't remember what program, where these two young women, girls, had two heads. And I'm not making fun of them or anything, but it's a medical anomaly. That isn't the norm. You should know this. We're talking about reality. We're talking about real life.
I'm frustrated with you right now because you're not one. No, it's fine. I'm going to ask him some questions.
Matt, stop mansplaining. I'm pretty sure Shannon can handle this on her own.
Here's the problem. This was a Trojan horse for somebody who wants to get transphobic rhetoric on the air, but I really want to make this point.
You people have changed the definitions of words. If I'm arachnophobic, if I see a spider, I just storm off like uncontrollably. I can't hold back my fear. That is what a phobia is. And what you people have done, you have transformed the meaning of words to mean something that it isn't. Because I don't agree with someone, I'm transphobic? No, I just don't agree with that person. I am not transphobic. I don't fear confused people. I want to help them to not be confused, to not live this life in confusion. I don't know if you guys knew, but most of these people that are transgender and confused, they have a high suicidal rate before or after they have their surgery. And I know what your guys' excuse is going to be. Well, even though they have the surgery, people like you are still making fun of them, and that's why they kill themselves. So wait, but I thought they got the surgery so they can feel good about themselves. I mean, I can't imagine wanting to kill myself. Let's say there's a whole bunch of KKK people around me, and they don't attack me or anything, but they're like, you're subhuman, or you're this, or you're not even a real person because you're Mexican. Whatever that person thinks of me does not affect my life in any single way. It doesn't, and it shouldn't. It shouldn't affect other people. If you're a man cutting your dick off so you can feel better about yourself, why would you care about what the world thinks? I mean, that would be able to fix your problems, but it doesn't. It just makes it worse. You're just mutilating yourself, and then still people are gonna make fun of you. People are gonna make fun of you no matter what. If you're poor, if you're rich, if you're white, if you're black, people are gonna, it's just the life of reality. So we have to learn how to deal with this shit since we're little. But since these people don't have a good family structure, they don't know how to deal with shit like this.
I really want to make this point because Javier, I will mute you, so help me.
Look how they get so frustrated just by asking a simple question, just by pointing out basic facts of reality.
Don't test me. Do not mistake my kindness for weakness.
First of all, you're not kind. Second of all, you're weak. You're a female. Next to me, you are a weak female.
You cannot see whether I do or do not have a vagina, Javier. So what your assessment of whether or not I am a woman is not based on that, because you cannot see it. You are basing it on something completely different. You're basing it on a configuration of societal standards and my personal presentation.
I can't see your vagina. So, I still know you're a woman. I mean, since when is telling that a woman is a woman because she has a vagina offensive? This shit does not fit in my mind. This type of intolerance, I mean, they call me intolerant because I don't agree with people, but this is what actual intolerance is. These people that yell out fascism and racism, they're the fascists, they're the racists, they're the ones that are always trying to block your voice from what you actually have to say. You being a woman is not a societal standard. It's not your presentation. You can have boy clothes on, and if I see those big ass titties, I'm gonna know you're a woman, even though you're dressed as a man.
That is what you're basing it on, along with my self-declaration to you that I am a woman.
You never self-declared that you were a woman. I assumed just by your voice. Like I said, at this point, I've never heard of you, never seen you on the show since I stopped watching The Atheist Experience, ever since Donald Trump started getting in there, because these people, ever since Donald Trump started running for office, because these people actually went, well, Donald Trump brought out the worst in people. And this is why there was a total disconnect between me. I stopped listening to music. I stopped watching shows because everybody was hating on Donald Trump so much for saying the truth. And the truth for you people is like your kryptonite. You just don't want to hear it. Let me give you an example. People hated Donald Trump so much because he said that drugs and rapists are coming from Mexico. I'm from Chihuahua, Mexico. I was born there. And I go every once in a while. I try not to because it's fucking dangerous. So in the border town of El Paso, which is Juarez, we've always had an issue. Since I was little, we've always had an issue with women being raped and killed and dropped in the middle of the fucking desert. It's like, it's been a known fact. And I was like, why does nobody talk about this shit? Why does nobody say anything about it? Why does nobody do anything about it? Why does nobody do anything about the drugs that are coming over, ruining our kids? Because it's an inconvenient truth. So once Donald Trump said it, people got triggered because he said the truth, kind of like you guys got triggered when I made this, when I presented this question. People got triggered at the truth. And I was like, wait, what? No. But this is true, though. This is true. People, pay attention, because this is fucking what's going on. And just because he said it, he's not racist. No, he isn't. That's not the definition of racism. But like I said, you people are switching out words. Let's say I call Matt Dillahunty and Shannon Q a racist because they don't agree with me. That's not the definition of racism. Racism is hating someone because of their skin color. Hating them. But pointing out true facts about a country, about South America, Mexico, that's just reality. And here's where you people broke down. Just like you broke down with Donald Trump, you're breaking down with this fact too, with this reality that we have.
That is what you are basing it on. And that is not a mistake. And it is not a mistake when a trans person does it. It is not. So if you want to call in here again with your Trojan horse, talking about how a belief that is false is somehow equivalent with knowing who you are, as though you think it's some sort of gotcha. You picked the wrong day and you picked the wrong pony, because I have no tolerance for bigots. Got it?
No, I not at all. I wasn't trying to get there. This is why I asked this specific question, because I mean.
Okay, so do you understand a little bit better then? Because you need to stop making the false equivalence that believing something that is false is the same in any way, shape, or form as somebody knowing who they are. You don't get to decide that.
I am Mexican, right? I cannot say I'm white, I'm black. I can't say I'm a lot of stuff I'm not.
You don't get it. You don't get it then, Javier. You do not get it. You didn't listen to a word that I said because you're trying to make another false equivalence.
Yeah. Whether or not you're Mexican is a statement of fact. But race, like gender, is a social construct. Ethnicity is not a social construct, other than we are pointing to groups and determining how much you fit into there. So this is why your distraction. You see, first of all, you say you're not trying to get there. I don't believe you, and Shannon doesn't believe you, because you came in with a really simple thing about belief. And belief, by the way, is the acceptance of a proposition as true. And so you could say, here's a proposition. Shannon is a woman. Shannon believes that proposition is true. And you would be completely correct. And yet you're not talking about gender or gender identity at all, because that's separate from believing a proposition. This is about understanding and knowing how one feels about one's identity and how one wants to express it. This is not the same with regard to whether or not you happen to be genetically related to people that fit into a category of Hispanics. It's just not.
Oh, it's exactly the same. I mean, I can't identify.
No, sir.
No, it's not. Unless you're a racist who thinks that there's a confluence of things that are affiliated with your race that compile who you are as a part of that race. Like a gender identity is something that there is a societal affiliate with. Is there something that there's a societal affiliate with that it is true to say about somebody who is a specific race? Because the moment that you say that, you are going into racist propaganda.
And like I said, this is all they can do, offend. Now I'm a racist. I thought only white, I mean, according to the left, I thought only white people can be racist. So if I'm, because you guys, I think you're in the middle of in the top of the totem pole. That's what everybody says. I don't believe it. But I thought it was only, not leftists, I'm sorry. I thought it was only white people. I thought I was the one that was supposed to be oppressed. So, I mean, that's according to critical race theory. Another stupid bullshit that leftists are implementing, not only in schools, but they want to implement it everywhere and tell people white people are the bad people and everybody else is oppressed, which it isn't the way I see things.
That's the false equivalence.
No. I'm asking. It's exactly the same thing.
It is not exactly the same thing.
Here, I'm being incredibly zen today and will continue to be. And I want to give you the best possible answers. I swear to God, if you say it's the same thing one more time, I will curse you out and hang up on you.
Why would you curse me out and hang up on me? Was I ever being disrespectful? Like I said, my voice was nice and calm. I never yelled. I never cursed at them. So why me disagreeing with you would make you want to go that route, Matt? Are you that triggered that you can't even handle the truth the way it's supposed to be handled? Matt, really? Are you that much of a pussy that you can't handle truth and that you have to hang up on me because you disagree with me on something that you know you're completely wrong? This is why you have to curse me out and hang up on me. This is why I wanted to do the live debate. So that way I know that you can't pull this shit off. And like I said, I want to see you storm out because I bet I can make you storm out. I bet I can trigger the shit out of you like you have no idea.
So let's avoid that. And I suggest that you call in to the Transatlantic Call-In Show next Saturday and talk to Katie and Arden about this subject.
These people defend this proposition so much about transgenders, yet he wants me to call in someone else. He's the one that defends it. But he wants me to call someone else because he doesn't know the proper ways on how to defend. I don't have to call a transgender to tell me how his craziness is crazy. I want to listen from you guys and tell me how it is normal, or not only normal, how it is feasible, how it is possible that a man can just say, I am a woman because my head does not connect with my body, or whatever your fucking arguments are.
Because then you will get not only the same, an improved response over Shannon and myself, but you will get it directly from people who are trans rather than listening to a couple of cis people talking about this.
Here's another word made up, cis. You guys are making up words as you go, and as we're coming along in this crazy world, you're going to be making up more and more and more and more words. It's not reality, dude. You're just a man. You're just a woman. There's nothing in, I mean, like I said, there's an intersex people, but different subject.
Yeah,
And since you're marching around with such monumental ignorance, both about the nature of belief and about the nature of gender and race, I'm going to save you from embarrassing yourself and being ripped apart by Shannon and the people in the chat. And I'm going to go on to another caller. If you're not familiar with how to reach out and find the Transatlantic Call-In Show, send me an email. I'm sure my girlfriend would love to talk to you.
Since I don't know how to defend my point, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to offend you and call into another place. I know I can't defend my points, and someone else that's more confused than me will let you know in on this confusion even more, because I'm not really good at it. And I'm going to hang up on you because I'm intolerant to the facts of reality of when it comes to gender and sex and people's confusion in their identity. Because you are intolerant to other people not thinking the way you do. And I mean, if you guys want to create a bridge instead of creating this bigger gap, we have to learn how to talk this shit out without getting upset, without name calling, because that's all you guys did. Name called. Bigot, racist, transphobe. I mean, I'm all those things, but I know I'm not. I just, if this, and this is why, like I said, this is why I offered the $5,000 so we can do a debate. Because in all honesty, Matt, there is no logical way of thinking this shit out. And this is why I said this would be the equivalent to debating a flat earther. They're just wrong, and no matter how many ways they try to present it, they are always going to be wrong. This is the same with the transgender movement. But I just want, and like I said, I just wanted to do this follow-up video so I can give you guys my real insight without mocking them, without being as rude, just presenting them with my arguments. Matt, like I said, I'm still up for this debate. Stop being a pussy. But like, this isn't gonna go your way. If I'm the one putting the money down, I don't mind. I'm the one that's gonna choose how it's gonna go down. And you're the one that pussied out. Somehow the people that defend you and all that were like, oh, Javier pussied out. No, not at all. Not at all. I just want to do it face to face, man to man. But you're so much of a coward. You're so much of a coward that you won't do it because you know you have no basis in reality to defend this stupidity. You just don't, man. And you have to accept that. I've seen you debate Dinesh D'Souza, and you bring this up, and he brought it up in a debate about transgenders, and you're like, whoop, just flipped it around so you guys don't talk about this. I'm not going to debate you on the God issue because I agree with you on that one. And I agree that you're a good debater whenever it comes to religion. This isn't religion, though. This is facts of life. This is reality. And you can bring along 50, 60 of your transgender, how many you have and how many want to come. And it'll be all of you confused people against me. I'll have it that way. I wouldn't mind. It's the same shit. You're still wrong about something that you can't defend. And even though I prove you wrong, people are still going to defend you. Delusional people are still going to defend you. But it doesn't matter, because as long as one or two people can see that you're just wrong on so many issues, especially when it comes to political issues like this, because this is a political movement. All these transgenders, except like Caitlyn Jenner, I think, hate Donald Trump. So I wouldn't be debating you on religion. I'd basically be debating you on politics. And here is where you lost your whole sense of reality. And proof is one thing that I have, tangible truth, just like real truth. And I will tear your ass up any day, Matt. Let me know. I'm still up for it. Don't be a pussy. Don't be a coward. Don't run, motherfucker. But it's not going to be, like I said, it's not going to be under your terms. I'm putting the money down. I'm the one who's deciding the terms. I will go and travel to Austin, Texas, I think you're at. Oh, go travel wherever the fuck you at. I don't care if you, no, I don't think I can go to New York because I'm not vaccinated. Anyways, guys, that was the update. Let me know what you think about it. Leave your comments here. Have a good one.